Hi, welcome once again to Domoji Math and Science. In today's lesson, we'll look at how to prove the cosine rule. To help us, we'll use this triangle. We'll label the triangle A, B, and C. Now, in labeling the triangle, you agree with me that the side opposite this triangle, we'll call it our small c. The side opposite A, we call it our small a. And the side opposite B, we call it our what? Small b. Now let's divide this triangle into two, such that we'll pick a line from A and it touches at C, such that it's perpendicular at A. It touches perpendicular to the side called A. Now let's call from A, this point at which it touches it, I would like to call that point D. Now from D to C, let's call it our X. And from D to B now becomes A minus X. That means we should have two figures. We should have two different triangles. The first triangle will be this. The first triangle, so that the first triangle will be our triangle. Look at this, will be our triangle A, B, and D. So that this side is our C. Let's call this side, let's call it our H. And here is A. This side here is our A minus X. Now, obviously there's a second triangle, which is here. And that second triangle will be the triangle A, C, and D. That's triangle A, C, and D. Now from triangle A, C, and D, repeatedly, this side is still our H, here is our X, and this side is our B. Now if you look at both triangles, I would like to name this triangle my first triangle. Let's call it figure 1, and this is what? Figure 2. From figure 1, we're saying that we can say that C squared is equals to A minus X all squared plus H squared. That's our Pythagoras theorem. Now, if C squared is equal to this, and from our figure 2 also, let's name this, let's tag this our equation 1. From our figure 2, we can see obviously that B squared is equals to H squared plus X squared. That is the hypotenuse, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the two other sides. Now, if B squared is equals to H squared plus X squared, obviously is H squared from equation 2 here, H squared is equals to B squared minus X squared. We're making H squared the subject of our formula. Now I want to substitute for H squared. Let's now substitute for H squared in equation 1. So that C squared will be equals to A minus X all squared plus B squared minus X squared. Now we substituted for, in place of H squared here, we have substituted B squared minus X squared in place of H squared. So that C squared obviously will be equals to, expand A minus X all squared. That's A minus X into A minus X. Now plus B squared minus X squared. Now let's solve this out first. That will be equals to X squared, A times A, that's A squared. A times minus X, that's minus AX. Minus X times A, that's minus AX. Minus X times minus X, that's plus X squared. Plus B squared, which we have here, minus X squared. Now here we have minus X squared, and here we have plus X squared. So my C squared, let me just demarcate this way. So that my C squared is now equals to A squared minus AX minus AX. That's minus 2AX plus B squared. plus b squared. So that my c squared will be equals to a squared plus b squared, rearranging it, minus 2ax. Now if you come back to our figure 2 and we pick the angle at C, you see that the cos of the angle at C, cos C, is equals to the adjacent, which is x, over the hypotenuse. That's x over b. So that cos C, if you now cross multiply times b, will be equals to x. That means my x is equals to b cos C. That's x. So if you come to my equation here, we can now substitute for x. So that c squared will be equals to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab. Because we are substituting for b, we are substituting for x, 2ab cos C. Permit me to just write it this way. So that gives me my cosine rule. Thank you for staying with us. If this is your first time meeting us, please do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button. See you in our next class. We'll be using cosine rule in various examples. Thank you and have a lovely time.